Today's video is all about SHIDO. Build on SHIDO without limits. Today we're going to be doing a quick deep dive update, looking into the recent developments, trying to figure out whether SHIDO has what it takes to make it to our portfolio. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. And the question is SHIDO an opportunity? Guys, I'm going to be doing a deep dive update today. Obviously, this video is sponsored by SHIDO, which is a great opportunity for me to give you an update with regards to the first deep dive that I've done. And since then, a lot has changed, which is really good. So basically we have to keep up with it, see what the SHIDO team has been working on, what they have been cooking in the background. So let me begin by just giving you a reintroduction to SHIDO. If you want to know more about SHIDO and the whole concept behind it in a deeper way, check out the deep dive video. I'll have it linked in the description below. But you can see that SHIDO, at the end of the day, as it describes, built with no limits, SHIDO network is a super fast dual virtual machine chain with the lowest fees, bringing the future of DeFi, connecting users to billions of assets. Okay, so it seems like its main value proposition is DeFi, and of course, guys, as an L1, it has a lot to offer with a lot more utility, perhaps in the future, with regards to what the blockchain can actually achieve. Which at the end of the day, there's always room for speculation. Let's keep on going down. Let's see what else they got here. 700 milliseconds time to finality. TPS is 13,000. Transaction fees are rock bottom, as you can see. Staked SHIDO, 4.5 billion staked. Transactions, 2.3 million transactions, and infinitely scalable. Interesting. Okay, so that's some good stats. We know that the space in general is competing for a lot of these numbers at this current moment. So it's good to see at least they're trying to put their best foot forward with the numbers, with the speed and all of that kind of stuff. SHIDO ecosystem is growing. Of course, you guys know that I focus significantly on ecosystem growth because that's a good indication that the utility of the token itself, of the coin itself, is going to have a high utility, which means that we want to see that the focus is on growing an ecosystem. The more the ecosystem is, growing, or the more ecosystem it has, the reality is the token itself can be used. So there's an incentive to hold it. There's an incentive to buy it, and there's an incentive to transact with it. So this is good. Projects on SHIDO, we got 104 plus, and obviously perhaps over time we're going to see this grow, and it probably already has. Native SHIDO projects, 12, they're working on it. A lot of new stuff coming out from the SHIDO team. Active validators, 47. Remember, it's a small project, right? It's very small, and it looks like a big project. From the outside it looks huge, but the reality is it's still in its growth phase, which means that there's lots of potential here for growth, for future growth. And when you look at the active validators, the more decentralized, and as the project grows, we hope to see more validators come into the network to secure the network, which is awesome. All right, so you can explore their ecosystem in a little bit of detail there. SHIDO scan, explore the network, nice transparency, being able to see what's going on in the blockchain. Awesome stuff. Unlocking unified liquidity through chain abstraction. SHIDO's chain abstraction is an innovative technology that allows you to sign transactions across multiple blockchains using a single account. This means that you can manage all your blockchain activities from one place, effectively connecting different ecosystems. This is pretty good. This is awesome. We want to see simplicity across multiple blockchains, guys. We've seen so many come out this season. And ultimately, the simplicity has to be introduced here, because the more L1s, the more blockchains, the more this, the more that, the more complexity. But if we put some effort to actually make things simplified, I think the barriers to entry definitely get reduced. So that's a good thing. The next generation cross-chain DeFi ecosystem, SHIDO network, lightning fast, layer 1 proof of stake blockchain. So they have their own blockchain. So they, basically, since the past, right, they were pure pure EVM, meaning Ethereum, an Ethereum-based blockchain. Now they have their own, which is great. They have the SHIDO app that is currently in the works. They got a new team, a new group working on it, which is great. So there's a lot happening and more development happening with SHIDO. And the SHIDO DEX is hot, cross-chain DEX and liquidity protocol on SHIDO network. And then SHIDO Finance, money markets, earn yield staking and vaults on SHIDO network. So DeFi, is the bread and butter right now, right? That's the main core competency or value proposition. So you can see that they have a lot of focus here on DeFi, which is good. They have a DEX and some other DeFi financial crossing traditional finance into Web3, which is good, such as this right here, money markets. Okay, so download the SHIDO app. Feel free to do that. You got the App Store, you got Google Play, and you got the APK for Android. What else do we got here? Got some good stuff to talk about here because they just recently got listed on a lot of these aggregators, which I'm going to talk about in a second, which is good exposure for SHIDO. Ultimately, trade now on the SHIDO DEX v3. So the version 3 is out. SHIDO DEX v3 is a permissionless, decentralized liquidity protocol on SHIDO network with inbuilt DeFi aggregator, cross-chain swaps, and perpetuals. That's a mouthful, guys, because it's heavy. It's a heavyweight. That's pretty good. But we've seen a lot of these DEXs come out with such great features lately, and we've seen them do so well in this market, and I think SHIDO's trying to get their piece of the pie, so definitely check that out. SHIDO Labs 2025-26, they got a lot in the works. We are proud to present an expansive development roadmap. Guys, roadmaps are great because they give us an idea as where the team is going, where are they putting their efforts, where are they putting their focus. It's not only capital with regards to financing, but also human capital, right? SHIDO DEX v3 on the obviously there, the SHIDO app updating. We spoke about that. Enabling a suite of AI tools, so integrating AI into the DeFi play. We've talked about this. Many people have been yapping about the fact that one day we will see DeFi basically run on an AI, even using some sort of AI agent platform or something like that. This is definitely, cutting edge technology. SHIDO L2s, SHIDO CDK enables developers to launch L2s chains on SHIDO network in a few clicks. AI EVM. So there's a lot happening, guys. Things that, obviously we got to be patient, and you notice that the focus majority is AI. So that's pretty good. Ultimately, AI integration is a hot topic, and DeFi is that next level, bringing in, finance and AI. And for us, that's quite interesting, given it's a narrative that has been picking up recently. Comparing blockchains, obviously, we can compare the major heavyweight out there, Ethereum. Most L1s want to compete with Ethereum, basically to attract some of its liquidity. It's part of the game, it's part of the nature of business. It's the way it goes. And you can see that it tries to compete on all fronts, right? And you feel free to go check that out. Obviously, WASM compatible, which means an open source platform, web assembly, which makes things a little bit more open source, a little bit more user friendly, and barriers to entry is definitely, so I appreciate that. And the burning mechanism is there. Gas function, there's a gas-free function 100%, which is pretty good. Guys, go look through it. You can see there's a lot of, and then not only does it have its own virtual machine, well, it's not its own, but it has the WASM virtual machine. It's also EVM compatible, which means that it doesn't lose what it had before, which is the EVM compatibility to be able to attract liquidity from the Ethereum virtual machine or the Ethereum ecosystem. It still has that. But it also introduces its own L1 WASM compatible blockchain, which is very, very good, right? At the end of the day, they can tailor their blockchain to define exactly what they want to achieve for their DeFi platform. So for me, that's good. I appreciate all of that. Zero carbon footprint. If you're interested in that concept, go check it out. Latest SHIDO news. They're keeping you up to date, and you can see the community is well stacked with all kinds of socials and giving you the ability to interact with the team. The team is friendly. The team is helpful, and the team answers your questions. That for me is what attracted me to the SHIDO from the beginning, is to take their time at the grassroots level to engage and interact with the community. And kudos to them for even even, paying attention that way, because not a lot of projects take the time to, engage with their community the way the Shido community does. So kudos to them. Audited by Zokyo, which we're going to talk about in a second, because their contracts are fully audited, which is very, very necessary. Blockchains have their issues with their smart contracts. They overcome. They go back to the drawing board. They redevelop. They patch up some holes, and then they learn lessons. But even more so, one of the lessons that need to be learned across this market, across all the projects in this space, is they need to get audited. So I'm glad to see that Shido took the preventative measures to ensure that their blockchain, their contracts are bulletproof. So we got a bit of that happening there. And there's a lot of good links below if you want to go and dig deeper. Now, what I'm going to do is going to quickly kind of show you some of the websites or the pages or the social media posts regarding some of this, which is interesting. Their ecosystem, Shido's decentralized interoperable ecosystem, building the future of DeFi. So again, they're focusing on the DeFi. You can see that their ecosystem, money markets, decentralized exchange, they got a DEX, the crypto wallet, the interoperability is a big thing. We talked about that. I'm just going to quickly run through this, and you can see that there's a lot of good things happening within the ecosystem as well. This is their blockchain. So if you want to know more about their actual L1, their actual native blockchain, this is a good opportunity to do a little bit of research. And you can see the EVM WASM combination is amazing. The dual combination is a good thing. Infinitely scalable, guys. That's something that not many blockchains could achieve, and I'm glad to see that they have that. And if you're interested in the carbon neutral concept, it's there. If you want to dig deeper, unlocking DeFi liquidity, we already talked about a lot of this. So let's just kind of go through this little by little. Now the TVL keeps on growing, guys. There's metrics on DeFi Llama. So, they got their metrics listed real time on DeFi Llama. So that was a great development, because the more exposure they get on these aggregators, the better it is, guys. So ultimately, since here, 2025, they slowly have been grinding to the upside and increasing that TVL to the point where they were before. And that's a good sign. Reclaiming previous price action or previous levels is always a sign of, growth and sustainability. And at the end of the day, this is really, really good. So I'm glad to see that not only are they listed on DeFi, the TVL is listed on DeFi as well, that we're seeing the numbers looking pretty good also. They're also listed on CoinGecko. Again, another very, very popular aggregator. This is good for the project. Again, look at the market cap. It's a $3 billion market, billion dollar market cap is $3 million, which means $3 million market cap is tiny, guys. $3 million market cap is a very, very small project, which means that this type of exposure is critical. Okay, very, very critical. Ultimately, being listed on all the aggregators is important, because when people want to do deep dive research, when retail wants to go and investigate, what the projects are all about, they usually go to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, obviously some DEX tools and this and that, and DeFi Llama, and to be listed on there accurately is very, very important. So we can see that, accurate numbers are here listed. You got all their socials, the good, a quick description and all of that. And ultimately where you could buy it, where you can get access to it. Mexi, and obviously you'll have Osmosis and Uniswap for the EVM, but Mexi's got you listed for sure. Okay, so I got links in the description to Mexi if you're interested as well. Anyways, let's move on. Let's see where else they're listed. We're listed on DEX Tools. You can see another good popular place to go and investigate projects, and especially if you're looking into projects that are listed on the Shido native DEX, right? They got you covered with regards to that. And even more so if you're on CoinMarketCap, CoinMarketCap has them listed, the actual DEX listing. You can see that the Shido network, if you want to look at the Shido network, right now, obviously they're small, they're growing, they're getting these all listed little by little. And you can see they've got a few already, but what's the most important is the Shido DEX, in my opinion. If you want proxy exposure to the L1, the best way to do that is to get into the DeFi. The best way to do that is to get into the DeFi space with regards to the network. Transactions will happen there. When you see the L1 flourish, where do you think the most value is going to be introduced? In the swapping, in the trading, in the DeFi, and that's where the Shido DEX will flourish. So for me, if you're looking for a proxy, if you're looking for exposure within the ecosystem, first base is always the DEX, and SHDX is the ticker. So go check that out. CoinMarketCap is going to have all of the trading pairs listed on the decks right here, ready to go for you guys to do that research and a little bit more. And of course, as I mentioned, Zokyo, they are proud to announce that Shido blockchain has achieved an outstanding audit, example score of 97 out of 100. So that's really, really good, high rating. And they're doing their due diligence, guys. We've seen a lot of projects in the past, and this is part of the game where, contracts have their issues, and then later on projects come out, beat the bullet, and just definitely start pumping and cranking and keep on working. And that's the reality of engineering. Okay, you one step backwards, 10 steps forwards, and realizing certain things that need to be achieved, and getting their score and getting their security and getting their blockchain totally audited is a very, very, very important thing now in today's environment. Over 211,000 lines of our code were meticulously audited by Zokyo. So, and that's what we want to hear going for, especially DeFi. So if you appreciate that, guys, go check it out. Do a bit of research. There's a bit of a paper here, the contract review, if you want to go and dig a little bit more. Full transparency there with regards to that. And then we start talking about their L1, because their L1 is something that we should be proud of, right? You should be interested in, because yes, EVM compatibility is awesome, but using the Ethereum boilerplate is cool. But what about being able to customize a blockchain to tailor your exact value proposition? And this is where they come out with their own, value proposition. They obviously have the DEX, they have perpetuals up to 200x. Guys, this is now we're talking about the next level of DeFi. We've seen the introduction of these types of exchanges across the market in the last little while. We know that, trading on a DEX now has become somewhat of a norm, right? So to see Shido front running this and getting involved at such a low market cap is definitely interesting. And as we go down, you can see the typical features that a lot of the DEXs have as well. Staking, pools, farming, P2P, DeFi aggregator, limit order, and whatever you're looking for, guys, the majority of it is here, as you can see. So go check it out. But again, the L1, sharded proof of stake blockchain. So they got a DAO, near instant finality, obviously the low fees, the dual EVM, like we talked about, transactions are fast, zero downtime since launch, since their L1 launch, zero downtime, built for cross-chain interoperability, like we've already talked about, and AI integration is in the works, and according to their roadmap, that's where a lot of their focus is going to be in the next little while, which I appreciate, because that's where the trend is going, guys. So we got to pivot to where the trend is going, and to see the team realizing it, at least we know that they're focusing in the right direction. And their wallet, it's in the works, multi-chain wallet, fiat on and off ramp, built-in DEX, which is good, NFTs, Web3 browsers, and so on and so forth. So good stuff there. And a little bit of info regarding the Shido network, if you want to do. They got a full-on report here talking about all the little details with regards to their blockchain and their ENSO upgrade, which is amazing, which is important if you're bullish on Shido, for you to do a bit of research in. So as you can see, Shido is doing the right thing to continue in this market. Yes, the market right now, a lot of us are focusing on opportunity, and we're focusing on where we should be allocating that capital. And as a summary, guys, as per usual, I release an infographic. This infographic summarizes the majority of what I said, but in a little bit more detail, and in a convenient way for you to have it in your back pocket, so that you can remind yourself and refresh yourself on what Shido is all about and what they're working on. Just as a quick summary, guys, I'm going to just go through it. The Zokyo audits, Shido score is through the roof, 97 out of 100, which is great. The aggregator listings, we got Shido on CoinGecko, the DEX on CoinGecko, we got the DEX TVL on DeFi Llama, Shido on DEX tools. These are great ways to expose Shido to the general public, particularly retail, when they want to start doing a bit of research. AI integrations, this is right now, in my opinion, their main focus, which is good. It's going to add functionality to its ecosystem, Ethereum, and not only just functionality in general, the functionality that the rest of the market is currently trying to achieve. So they're right there in the thick of things, not just lagging behind. They're right there trying to do what and keep up with the major players at such a small market cap, which is super, super impressive. Native NFT marketplace, which is in the works. NFTs kind of took a back burner in the last little while, which is understandable. But the true value about what NFTs are about are just, in my opinion, are just beginning. Right? NFTs are not just JPEGs. And I'm hoping to see the SHIDO team prove it to us for once that NFTs are not just JPEGs. Okay. They're much more than that. In fact, a contract that could be completely programmed for non-fungible tokens has a lot to offer to this space. Okay. So just keep that in mind. I'm hoping that we start seeing that kind of stuff. Coin market cap integration. Of course, the DEX scan and the Coin Market Cap's platform is introducing the tracking of the DEX's scan, which is important because we can actually keep in tune with what's happening with such projects like the Kensai, both Kensai verified and native to SHIDO are on the SDX, and you can follow it there right on CoinMarketCap, which is good, right on the platform. And one thing that I'm really, really bullish on is the dual virtual machine, the EVM and the WebAssembly EVM virtual machine, which is good. Interoperability with regards to both those standards, with regards to language, programming the blockchain. This is good. Less barriers to entry. An open source language like WebAssembly is great. It attracts a lot of developers that are already trained within that, language and those capabilities. EVM is fairly standard as well and almost become a standardized language across the space, given that EVM is the largest and the most common. But nonetheless, guys, with this combination, they cover all their platform, they cover all their bases, right? So SHIDO uniquely offers a dual virtual machine environment supporting developers from both EVM and WebAssembly ecosystem with high flexibility, which is again ecosystem growth, guys. That's for me, and obviously attracting liquidity from EVM is great, but ecosystem growth 100% here. Cross-chain bridge, they have to offer that. Obviously, they're going to have that, and obviously a lot of the EVM based blockchains are supported here. We got ETH, BNB, AVAX, Base, Arbitrum, Polygon, a lot of blockchains supporting 6 major blockchains, which is good. And that interoperability, obviously, or that cross-chain capability via the bridge introduces a lot less friction also. So improving the experience of using a SHIDO, and not only that, being able to attract liquidity to SHIDO via all these other blockchains. Less friction means more use, more incentive for developers to create and develop a bigger ecosystem. And then you know what that all boils down to: the actual utility of the token, of the coin. And if the utility is strong, then what happens? There's an incentive to hold it, and that's the truth. And there's some great relationships that they got going on, which I'm bullish on. We got Victus Global, Zokyo, obviously the auditor, Lossless DeFi, Unizen, Galaxy for growth and Growthly, Gempad, SkipGo, and Arc AI, guys, because their focus lately has been AI, which is good to see that they are intertwined with or working with an AI project, which is good. And overall, as you can see, SHIDO is on fire. Now, if you want to know more about their ENSO upgrade, which for me is a really, really important thing to do, to get very comfortable with what it is. Let me just kind of position this for you guys so we can look at this in a bit better detail. The ENSO upgrade really took their blockchain to the next level. Okay, really, really did. And finality, 30% increase from the previous to 10K transactions per second. Block finality reduced to under 1 second, almost instant. This is amazing, right? And it competes with all other larger L1s. Storage optimization, state pruning, reduces storage needs by 40%. Fee burning mechanism, guys. This is important because as most of us want and have always said, we want to see tokenomics that eventually becomes deflationary. We want to see that there's less sell pressure and more, demand, or the price goes up via less supply. And in this case, they have a model, the base fee plus burner model, which reduces the amount of SHIDOs in circulation. Active token burns per transaction make SHIDO deflationary. Okay, and this is important. So they took the concept of the EVM layer when Ethereum upgraded and introduced this to SHIDO, which is great. Consensus and gas fee efficiency. They have their consensus mechanism, validator selection and disruption resistance, and their 30% gas cost reduction for their EVM transactions. Good stuff. And infrastructure enhancements, greater cross-chain partition resistance, boosting reliability, and support for RPC and WebSocket, enabling real-time data access. So some good stuff, some really techy stuff, if you're into the tech and all of that. So I would definitely recommend that you do a bit of research with regards to their ENSO upgrade and get a little bit more familiar if you're a techie that way. But from a Web3 perspective, guys, SHIDO is doing what it needs to do to keep up. And for me, to see a young team, to see a young project in general, fighting to compete is something that I like to see. And that's why, at the end of the day, SHIDO's on my watch list. All right, guys, just remember this video is sponsored by SHIDO. So if you have any questions, feel free to join the Discord and ask away. There's a lot of good members in there, and even on the SHIDO Discord and Telegram and all their socials, willing to answer any questions, and that's great. If I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and dirty material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Guys, find this infographic all over the socials in about 5 minutes. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.